Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I hope every one of you has been having a fabulous morning and a great afternoon as well. I hope everyone is present. I hope there is no audio or video technical glitch. If there is, do let me know now. All right. I think we are good to go. All right. Let me start today's second live streaming session with a quick introduction about myself. I am Harsh. I have 8 years of trading experience in the financial markets. I have been trading the forex markets, the commodity markets such as oil, gold, silver, as well as the US based indices such as S&P 500, Dow Jones 30 and the Nasdaq 100. Currently, we are also looking at the Indian share market whereby we are analyzing the Indian blue chip indices as well as identifying for money making opportunities in the individual Indian stocks. So I am more of a one second. All right, so I am more of a technical trader. I specialize in technical analysis such as supply and demand, price action, order flow analysis, swing analysis, wave analysis, and Fibonacci retracement analysis. I have been blessed to be mentored and to be guided by some of the brightest minds in the financial markets. Under their guidance and mentorship, I have been able to gain valuable info, experience as well as exposure. I'm talking about those people who used to work as floor traders on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. I have successfully handled $25 million worth of portfolio, and on top of that, I have even been able to achieve returns between 30 to 35% on an annual basis. The reasons for showcasing the information and experience is so that you can be rest assured that the information that is coming to you is coming by someone who is educated, who is sorry, who is experienced, and who has the expertise when it comes to the financial markets. So let me start this particular live streaming session with the main question. Do you think it is possible to make money in the financial markets? If yes, you can type one. And if you think it is hard to make money in the financial markets, you can type two. Remember, we are having these we're going to have this live streaming session based on an interaction. Yes, Harsh will be doing most of the talking, but when it comes to me asking you questions, or if you have any doubts or queries, you can always get back to me in the comments below, right? So I can understand based on the reciprocation that how well people are able to understand, and I can gauge and modify my content based on how well people can understand. All right, so coming back to the question, do you think it is possible to make money, or do you think it is hard to make money in the financial markets? I'm pretty sure everyone would be having the question in mind, and that is going to be yes, Harsh. We know that we can make money in the financial markets, but maybe we do not know how to make money, or we have lost money in the past. Maybe we do not have the right mentor, we do not have the right guidance, or we don't have the right tools and resources, right, to be successful when it comes to financial trading. And that is what we at Dolphin Markets are providing to you. So I, Harsh, at Dolphin Markets would be making sure to provide you with valuable content, right? Content in terms of analysis, analyzing the Indian share market, in terms of hot stock opportunities. We are here to provide you with trading opportunities that can make you good amount of money, and content in terms of education. So when there is such a strong and beneficial trifactor of value content that is being provided to you, it is in your best interest to be a part of Dolphin Markets and to keep getting value in terms of making money and learning as well. All right, so Before we continue, I hope people have been able to understand that yes, we can make money in the financial markets. And let me show it to you. We have been diligently and consistently maintaining our analysis sheet. So we have two analysis sheet. The first analysis sheet, as you can see, is called as stock tracking. Whenever a trade is taken and is closed at a profit, we make sure to meticulously maintain a record with all the parameters that are necessary for taking a trade. So we provide you with the date, the stock, the direction, and the entry point, right? And the date at which the trade was closed, the price at which the trade, the price for that particular stock where it had reached, and how much of profitability we were able to make on that particular stock. So we have been doing this all the way from mid of September, right? 18th of September to be precise. And from 18th of September till the most recent date, we have been sitting at almost around 220, approximately 220% profitability. Whenever a hot stock is identified by us, we provide to you. We call those as hot stock recommendations, right? Money making opportunities. So, as and how we are able to glance and identify a particular opportunity, we do let you know, right? With the latest being yesterday, right? I hope people can see my screen. We had provided to you a hot stock recommendation on Kriti Industries, right, which was listed on the National Stock Exchange, and that was provided on 11th of December, which is yesterday, right? We are talking about Wednesday, with the parameters of entry, the 5% target, as well as additional targets. Now, please bear in mind the additional targets are just for your reference. We are focusing on the 5% profitability target because we have observed over a span of 3 months, correct? All the way from when we had started to take trades and close trades at a profit, we have understood that the 5% profitability is the right profit target in terms of consistently generating profits. Yes, can the markets go more into our favor? Yes, but we are not here to be right. We are here to make money consistently. So we have understood that the 5% profitability is the right value when it comes to booking profits. Many times we have observed in the past where the prices come to the 5% target and they reverse from the 5% target. So that is the reason we would be focusing on the 5% target. So all the way from 18th till this particular day, right? We are talking of uh, 11th, when the hot stock recommendation on Kriti that was shared, we have been doing quite phenomenally, right? Let me ask you another question. Do you want to make a little bit of funds, or sorry, a little bit of profits, or you want to make a lot of profits? I want to add another question to this. How easy do you think you can be replicating the same by yourself if you had to do it by yourself? I'm pretty sure, because with such consistent returns over a span of 36 trades. Now, bear in mind, we are not talking about one or two trades. We are talking about 36 trades to be precise, right? So, our sample size is huge. Many people have that fear or hesitation that yes, people can make such strong returns by going all in or maybe a single or a couple of trades. We do not believe in that. We are analysts and traders. We need to follow the markets based on a structured format that includes the entry parameters, the target parameters, and the risk, the position size. I'm pretty sure by now everyone would be clear that whenever a hot stock is recommended to you, we always mention that we always inform our clients and our viewers that we always enter with a position size between 10 to 15%, right? It's very important to understand and get it into your mind in terms of risk management. We are not telling that we are certain that whatever trades we provide you will hit target. What we are saying is the trade or the hot stock recommendations that we provide to you are based on risk management and parameters of entry and target. And we have been quite consistent, right? With a meticulous and detailed record of our analysis sheet, we have been quite, not just quite, we have been very successful when it comes to attaining great profitability, right? Like I had mentioned, we have crossed the 200% profitability with 36 trades taken in a span of less than 3 months. To be precise, it is since we had started on 18th of September, we are very well close, right? Another week for 3 months to conclude, and we are already sitting at 200%. So that is the power that we at Dolphin Markets are able to provide to you. The other question that I had asked you was this: do you want to make a little bit of profits, or do you want to make a good amount of profit, right? So the answer lies in one simple action, and that action is to be consistent in attending the live streaming sessions. We want to make sure that you are able to attend all our live streaming sessions, because when a hot stock is analyzed and identified, I will provide it to you. For that, you have to make sure that you are attending all the live streaming sessions. Now, whether a hot stock recommendation gets picked up in the initial phase of the streaming session, or in the mid phase, or at the end, it's not in our hands, right? The market will do what it has to do. You and me can only take advantage of trade possibilities in the market, and that is what we are providing to you. So always make sure whenever you are attending Harsh's live streaming session, first and foremost, be consistent when it comes to being present and attending the live streaming sessions. And second, but most importantly, keep your trading account open. It has to be live, it has to be active, right? All you have to do is follow our parameters when it comes to which stock to look at, what is the entry price, what is the 5% profitability target, and the position size is always maintained between 10 to 15%. All right, so I hope everyone is clear. I hope everyone has got a very clear understanding in terms of how well we have been able, just based on the last 5 trades that were closed, right? I hope people can see my screen, correct? All right, perfect. So one, two, three, four, five. We have been able to accumulate a cumulative profitability of 28%, right? How fantastic that can be. These kind of returns would have been would have been accomplished by you also, by putting your funds in, maybe in a mutual fund, or in an SIP scheme, or any other financial instrument. But we have been able to make such returns just in the first 10 to 12 days of December itself. So that is the power that we are showcasing with a cumulative profitability which has crossed 200%, right? For anyone who had invested 1 lakh, would have been sitting at 2 lakhs plus. For anyone who had invested in these trades at 1 crore, would be sitting at 2 crores of profit, so that is the power that we are providing to you. All right, so in terms of the trades that have been taken and closed, this is the particular hot stock running. And with yesterday's hot stock recommendation that was shared on Kriti, correct? We will have a look at these hot stocks as well, and then we will analyze how the markets are performing. All right. But please be aware that since the value that we are providing, right, such strong profitability values are literally near to impossible for most of the people, and we are providing you with all this information at literally at literally free value. But please bear in mind, we are in the phase of marketing our potential. We want to create awareness amongst the Indian demography that yes, Dolphin Markets has arrived, Harsh has arrived, and we are here to showcase anyone and everyone who's willing to understand, who's willing to analyze the trade ideas that we are sharing, and is willing to, accept that yes, some company has come up which is showcasing potentials not just in their services but in their trading recommendations as well, right? In terms of hot stock recommendation, since our value is of very high quality, we are, going to focus on those customers who will be called as VIP customers. Now, who are VIP customers? Customers who are willing to invest, customers who are willing to take action, and customers who want to make good amount of money. Since the initial phase of marketing is currently going on, we have kept the doors open for anyone and everyone. They can see all the live streaming sessions and, understand for themselves that yes, they need to be a part of Dolphin Markets. They need to be a part of Harsh's live streaming sessions. For that is where they can make good amount of money. We are not just talking about making money, we are also talking about providing you with education. So when you can earn and when you can learn, when you combine the two, it's a deadly combination, right? And it can make you very profitable and very knowledgeable. All right, so I hope everyone has understood. The live streaming session is currently based on a limited time offer. By the next month, we would be going into our private live streaming sessions. It will be only accessible for those who are willing to be a part of Dolphin Markets. So do not miss the opportunity. Get onboarded onto Dolphin Markets and keep, getting access to Harsh's live streaming sessions where you can earn and where you can learn together. Now let's get back to the charts so that we can see how the markets are moving, what the markets have done in the last couple of hours. See, the main focus of our live streaming sessions are basically for us to showcase that yes, if a hot stock is analyzed by us, we will recommend it to you. That's why we call it as hot stock recommendations. But sometimes when the markets are dull or going sideways, we will analyze how our previous trades are running and if any trades need to be updated in terms of taking any other particular action, we will let you know. Like I say to all my clients, my viewers, and my customers, when Harsh is here, there is nothing to fear. So let us get back and let us see at how the markets have been, moving based on our hot stock recommendations. We're going to be starting with Kriti. Now, Kriti, since this particular hot stock was provided yesterday, we had provided with an entry between 170 and 175. All right. Right now, the markets, the prices are slightly below, but they are right in that area of support, right? There is a very key important support area around the 160 area. Prices are right now over there. So we will keep an eye on this and we will update you. For those of you who are asking what critical industries are, sorry, critical industries are basically into the producer manufacturing and miscellaneous manufacturing sector. What does it do? Basically, it engages in the manufacture of plastic polymer piping systems, molded plastic, and soybean products. So miscellaneous manufacturing is mentioned because it is not into one product, it is into a couple of products, correct? So that is the reason. Mainly into plastic, polymer piping, molded plastic, and soya bean products. So quite a diversification when it comes to its products, right? In terms of what it manufactures. Right now the prices are sitting. Let me delete the volume. We do not require volume for now. Give me a minute. So let me remove volume. All right, so let me just put MACD because we would be using MACD quite a lot. MACD, it's not called as MACD, it is called as moving average convergence divergence. All right, now based on the moving average convergence divergence, as of now the histogram has shifted from the bullish territory to the bearish, right? I'm pretty sure everyone would be understanding by now. The green color, all right, I hope people can see my screen, correct? Okay, so when it is in the remember the MSCD is basically bifurcated into two separate indicators. We have a histogram and we have moving averages. So when the histogram is green in color, we call it as being in the bullish territory. When histogram is in the red color or it's in the negative phase, it's called as bearish territory. Now, wherever the moving averages are, whether they're in the bearish territory or in the bullish territory, that indicates the desired entry. So currently, since 7th or not 7th of October, it's been almost quite a while. Almost around 25th of September, the moving, around 7th of October, I hope people can see my screen, right? So I'm going to be focusing on this area. 7th of October is where the moving averages have been in the negative territory, right? In the bearish territory. That indicates mostly that there is, the prices still have a little biasness towards being bearish, right? But nonetheless, there is strong movement of price which is going to be coming into the key support area, right? The key support area going to be around 160, and that is where we would be keeping an eye. Let me add another indicator which we would be using, and that is called as moving average, right? So I would be using a moving average of 20, and based on that, you can clearly see that as of now, the prices are slightly, since the prices are slightly below the moving average, that still indicates there is a good amount of bearishness as of yet, but we are looking for prices to correct. We would be getting into the numbers, into the fundamental aspects of what the numbers are showcasing, how the company is performing. But before that, let us quickly have a look at all the other watch lists that we have trades currently running, and we will get back to quickly. All right. We looked at Hind oil, and I'm pretty sure everyone is aware that the oil sector, especially because of the geopolitical concerns that are going across the globe, there has been a huge correction in the international crude oil prices, and all these macroeconomic factors have taken a huge hit on the Indian oil sector as well, including the Indian oil companies which come under that sector. Right now, the prices are clearly in a downtrend based on the 4 hour, right? So, on the 4 hour, the prices are creating lower highs and lower lows, right? So, prices have come back to a very strong area of resistance where the entry had been provided, and the prices are holding that structure by going or correcting as of now. There was even in today's, let me show it to you in today's news updates based on what we normally use to understand the fundamentals, right? Sorry, the sentiment of what is happening in the markets. You can clearly see that the oil and gas indices have been in the red since the beginning of today, right? While the other sectors such as bank, Nifty, and financial services have opened higher, auto piece, public share undertaking, and consumer durables and oil and gas, these ones have been in the red, right? So we would be looking at this, and this is one of the reasons why Hindustan oil exploration is still having bearish sentiment as of today as well. All right, so I hope people are able to understand, right? We are trying to connect as many dots as possible. The markets are bearish. Yes, they had corrected, but since the market is still in a downtrend, the prices are correcting, right? Or the prices are following the trend. We, as especially me, because I'm a technical trader, we believe in price being the king. Now, what does that mean? Whatever you see on the chart is already discounted, whether it could be microeconomic news events or macroeconomic news events. Macro, whatever economic event it is generally showcased on the charts, right? And that is where we technical analysts call price as king, right? And we also believe in following the trend. There is a very great quote which says, the trend is your friend till the bend at the end. So The trend will always be your best friend. When the prices are creating lower highs and lower lows, as you can see on the chart, the prices will generally have a tendency to follow the trend unless and until the trend gets taken out. That is when we would be saying that yes, now the movement of, or there is a shift in trend from bearishness to bullishness. But for that we need to see it visually, and that is why technical analysis is so beautiful, because it requires us to be it gives us a visual confirmation based on the charts. I'm not saying fundamental analysis are bad, but what I'm trying to tell you is we can combine technical analysis and fundamental analysis and merge them together. Your probability of getting better or trading opportunity rises significantly. All right, so based on currently on Hind oil, the prices are correcting, and in terms of the MACD, you can see the histogram has been in the bullish territory. The moving averages have just crossed above the have just crossed from the bearish territory to the bullish territory, right? So the plane, if you can see the dotted line, I hope everyone can see the dotted line, right? That line signifies the phase where we would be calling them as positive or bullish territory, or negative or bearish territory. So the moving averages have crossed above the phase line, and plus the histogram is green in color, so that is indicating there is strength, or there is strength, bullish strength, which is coming up into this particular stock, right? Then we would be looking at D-Dave, where D-Dave we had made good amount of profits. For those of you who had taken trades which we had provided around the 265 area, I'm not pretty sure, I would have to check the values. We had made quite good amount of money, right? The prices have entered into a strong area of resistance and strong area, and it was informed well in advance that since price would be entering in, coming into a strong area of resistance, we would be expecting to close any of our trades that would have entered, and that is what sorry, I have used the wrong tool. I wanted to use a highlighter, okay? So once the prices had entered, we had informed everyone to close the trades, right? Because this is where we would be expecting the prices to continue lower, and that is what the prices have done as well. So that is how we are improvising. We as traders, we as analysts are not, telling that we are certain that the prices will go in our favor. We are doing our due diligence. We are sorry, we are identifying the markets, we are analyzing and identifying for hot stock opportunities, and once it we get a clear indication that yes, there is a possibility to take a trade on a particular stock, we let you know. But the market runs on probabilities, the market does not run on certainties. So as and how the markets are correcting, it could be because of macroeconomic factors or microeconomic factors, we improvise. Now there were certain trades that were provided somewhere around these levels as well, but since the markets have been correcting quite, sternly, we had here this one, we had informed that there could be a possible opportunity to enter around the areas which had been mentioned to you, and we had made good amount of profit, right? Almost around 7 to 13% profitability just on one single trade. That is the power. Sometimes even though you're expecting less, you end up making more. There are times when such market scenarios take place as well, right? Then we had looked at Annapurna. Now, Annapurna had also been provided to you. Let me quickly just go and have a look in terms of which hot stock had been provided, right? We will be focusing right now, the markets are still correcting, right? Even today, the markets have been more or less sideways, or we call them as neutral sentiment. So with the markets currently being or having a sideways outlook, there is nothing much that we would be looking at. Let us get back to the charts and we will continue in terms of the other hot stock recommendations as well. Poonawalla had been, quite fabulous. I'm pretty sure everyone is aware of Poonawalla. Poonawalla is basically it's a non-banking finance company which engages in the provision of asset, consumer, and MSME financing through its pan-India network. We had informed and identified a strong structure which is nothing but an inverted head and shoulders. Let me just quickly draw it to you, for it looks something similar to this, right? Now the prices are sitting into that area which we call as the right shoulder. All right, so LS stands for left shoulder, RS stands for right shoulder. The prices have been in this area of support which is around the 345 area, and you can clearly see, let me just make the circle small. You can clearly see that the prices have been, more or less. One second, let me change the color. All right, one second. Some changes have been taken place. Let me just make sure I can quickly, change the colors, and it will be more visual for you to see as well, right? All right, perfect. So as you can see, yeah, we are back on track. So this particular for this particular stock, the prices more or less have been oscillating like a ping pong ball. You know the game ping pong, right? So there is a ball and there are two slabs, and the ping pong ball is just bouncing from one corner to the next. In this case, it is basically bouncing from support to resistance, right? Let me just make sure the colors are evident so that there is no difficulty in seeing the charts. All right, I hope people are able to understand right now. Since the third entry that was provided around the 360 area, the prices are more or less around that area. All right, then we had looked at RBL Bank. RBL Bank had done the same thing where prices had come into strong areas. I don't know who loves purple, but everything is in purple, right? In terms of drawing tools and all that. Let me just make sure I can quickly change the colors. And for this particular resistance block, I will keep it as red because red identifies oppression, right? And green signifies support. So that is the reason we want to keep the color differences so that it's easier for people to see. Let me quickly go and check this one. And there are other stocks, but they are currently quite away from our entries. Remember, we have been not just providing you with entries, and we have been, they have been left to run. We are also updating, for example, on IP rings, right? We had provided you with trading opportunities. We improvise as in how the market conditions are shifting, right? The markets are going to move from one point to the other. We as traders and analysts want to make sure that we can improvise. So based on IP rings, I hope people can see, we had provided it on 12th of November. That doesn't mean that we had just provided on 12th of November and left it. We had improvised. We had provided with additional entries as well, with the latest being around 12th, which was provided between 190 and 199. That has been able to achieve around 7%. So we improvise as in how the market conditions are shifting. All right, I hope people are able to understand. Now looking at Kriti, right? Since this particular hot stock had been provided to you, we will try to understand it from a fundamental analysis perspective, and we will combine it with technical analysis perspective and merge the two to understand more better. All right, so let me start with this particular. First and foremost, always be very important to understand, all right, what is the stock about, what does the company do, what is its functionality. So in terms of Kriti Industries IND, so it's going to be India, right? So Kriti Industries India Limited, it is a producer manufacturing and miscellaneous manufacturing. These are the sectors that it comes into, and in terms of its functionality, it engages in the manufacture of plastic polymer piping systems, molded plastic, and soya bean products. All right. So this is a very basic gist to just understand what is it basically. It's we have understood that it is into the manufacturing sector, right, of plastic polymer piping, molded plastic, and soybean products. Now let us go and look at the numbers, right? Because everyone says that Harsh, you're very good in technicals, but could we have some numbers in terms of fundamental analysis so we can get a better understanding? So let us understand that as well. All right, so I would be going to Motilal Oswal, right? We would be using this. It is powered by Motilal Oswal, but it's called as Research 360. Now, for quickly, since today morning, you can see the prices had opened at 174, and right now the prices are at 167. So there has been a slight depreciation of price as of today. With let us look in terms of its performance since the last 3 years, last year, and the last 12 months. The stock has been quite phenomenal, almost giving you around 40% profitability, right, in a year's time. It is in the last coming months where the prices have started to take a hit, where it has been depreciated by 21% in the last quarter, 7.19% in the last month, and 5.55%. So currently there is a correction phase that is currently going for us. In terms of ROE, what is ROE? It's the return on equity, right? How the measurement of a company's net income divided by the value of its shareholders' equity. Compared to its last year's ROE, the value has been quite significant, right? From a depreciated value of negative 17.7, the ROE value has risen back to 14.5, which is quite significant. In terms of ROA, what is ROA? It's an indicator how the company is profitable relative to its overall assets. So even based on the ROA factor with a depreciation for the last year, the current ROA factor is at 4.8, which is at an appreciated value. That is also a good sign. Last but not least, we are going to be looking at earnings per share. So earnings per share is basically the measure of a company's profitability calculated by dividing quarterly or annual income by the number of outstanding shares. EPS, earnings per share, is a crucial data point which is used in identifying possible opportunities in the market. Even based on the EPS value, we can see with a negative 4.6 factor for last year, currently we are sitting at a positive factor of 4.4. These are numbers which are showing that yes, at least based on the year, on the yearly data, the values have been rising, and that is good for us in terms of identifying that the company has strong records. Let us quickly have a look in terms of its income statement and balance sheet. Starting with the income statement, we would be looking at how over the past quarters, right? Remember, December 2023, that is on the rightmost side, and we would be looking at it from the right to the left, right? So December, March, June, and right now the current quarter, which is running for September. Based on the last year, I would call it as, or the last YTD, we have been seeing that the revenue has, sorry, the net income has been rising slowly, while the revenue has been appreciating and depreciating. With the with the current quarter being at 0.12k, so there is definitely a reduction in terms of the revenue as well. Yes, net income, as you can see, the one in dark is still showing 113%, but still revenue has gone down by a negative 54.4%. In terms of its balance sheet, what does balance sheet basically show? How are the assets compared to the liabilities? Since Kriti Industries India Limited is into the manufacturing segment, it needs to be producing goods in order to generate a profit, right? So based on the last quarters, again, we're going to be looking at, sorry, based on the last years. So now we're going to be looking from left to right. March 2021, March 22, 23, and 24. In terms of liabilities, which are the darker shades, as you can see, the liabilities have been rising slightly when compared to the assets have also been growing from 0.35 all the way back in 2021 to 0.45 k in the year 2024. So the assets are rising, and compared to the liabilities, the assets are significantly higher. So that is also a good plus point when it comes to the data that is being showcased. Then we have, let us look at some other important values, which would be debt to equity, right? How much of debt they owe in terms of the equity that they are possessing. Based on the years we had seen, the values are increasing from zero point 0.7. They had taken a downturn in the last 2 years, which was basically 2022 and 2023. But this current year has gone back to zero point 0.9. So that is also showing now the debt to equity. So is being, slightly rising, which is also fine. Now let us look in terms of how the shareholding pattern is currently uh, scattered based on this particular company, right? We have 66 promoter, 33 public, 0.02 FIIs, and 0% in terms of other institution. FIIs are more or less negligible when it comes to this particular company. Mainly it is controlled by the promoter, right? And very less is given to the public. So it is basically being handled more by the members of the company themselves, rather than acquiring more capital to expand their businesses. So again, not all numbers have to be justifiable. Most of the numbers, which especially the ROE, ROA, and EPS values, have been showcasing prominent appreciation in values, and that is a good sign, right, when it comes to the company. In terms of some of its valuations, right? I mean, just because the values are good, that is also a good indication based on how the company is performing. But we also want to understand how well a company is performing based on its peers, right? Its competitors. So Critly has its competitors, which are PPL, Cool Caps, and TPLPLAS. We'll look at these companies' names as well, but based on the PE ratio, the PB ratio, and dividend yield, we can see Critly to be overvalued, right? Critly, for a price to earnings ratio, sitting at 37.97. TPL, PL is at 30, which is slightly higher, but when it comes to PPL, it is much less. When these values are being shown, we want to make sure that the P ratio is always a bit compare. I mean, ideally below 30. Currently, Critically is at 37, so that shows that it is overvalued. Remember, when it comes to financial fundamental analysis, we are looking at data that can add. Sorry, we are looking at the value that the stock can provide us for the price at which it is being offered to us. So if we can get more value for less price, that is the golden egg when it comes to fundamental analysis, right? Now PB, price to book value, Critically has it at 5.47 compared to TPL and Cool Caps, which are significantly higher, but PPL is at 3.57. So at least in terms of PB ratio, Critically is moderate, though we would be expecting the PB ratio to be below 3, but it is right now at 5. So again, not the best values. It is slightly on the overvalued section, though it provides a dividend yield of 0.12. Many people look for this particular value or this particular factor when it comes to deciding which stock to trade. Since we are into providing you with trading opportunities on a regular basis, consistent basis, we do not bother much in terms of the dividend yield. All right, so in terms of quality, it's sitting at 85, right? Slightly below TPLPL. Valuation is at 42, and technicals is showing 50. Not much to be, So, and in terms of any important news event, this is also quite important because there are things that keep happening, and it could be the quarterly earning reports, or it could be some management issues or some improvisations in the board of members, we need to be aware of those as well. So in terms of Kriti, the last important news had come out only in September 2024, where it had shown that the net sales had come to 117.36 crores, right? But that 117.36 crores in September of 2024, right? We are talking about 2 months back, basically for the third quarter, correct? But it was down 21.58% from 149 based on the last year. So that is one thing that needs to be. Yes, they are making profits, but when comparing it to the last year, the general consensus for any trader or any investor to look at a particular hot stock is the company growing, unidirectionally. What I'm trying to say is, are the values increasing year after year? Here we can see, yes, they were able to have net sales, but compared to the last year, it's down by 21%. So certain points still need to be aware, right? So just let us read it because it's important for us to understand as well. So the net sales at 117 in September 2024, down 21.58% from 149.66 crores in September 2023. The quarterly net loss at 3.7 crores, down 254 from 2.39 crores. EBITDA is standing at 6.22, down 41.71 from 10.67 crores in September. The values have been depreciating in these segments as well. So we have a good amount of understanding, right? In terms of some of its strengths and weaknesses, is also important to be aware that, yes, what are the prospects for that particular company, correct? In terms of the strength, we have rising net flow cash and cash flow and cash from operating activity. We have strong cash generating ability. We have strong annual earnings per share growth and company with zero promoter pledging, which is also good because the promoters want to keep majority of the shares. They do not want to give it to the public, right? Because that is what people do. They give or they sell their equity, they sell shares to get more funds to expand and to have bigger plans for the company. In terms of weaknesses, there is a degrowth in revenue and profit. There has been a fall in quarterly revenue and net profit that we have already discussed based on the values and in the news articles, right? The profit to loss companies increasing trend in non-core income. Okay, so it's basically shifting from from its core towards non-core. Non-core income is basically income generated not from the main functioning of the company. Some degrowth in quarterly revenue and profit, weak momentum price below short, medium, and long-term averages, like we had even seen. We will come to technicalities as well, but these are some of the information that we need to be aware. In terms of opportunity and threat, currently they do not have it as of now. With the values that have been seen for this particular stock, yeah, it's been quite uh, decent when it comes to. Remember, the values of ROE, RO, and EPS have been substantially increasing based on last year. That itself gives us a good sense of a surety that, yes, the company has strong financial numbers that it can sustain on, and it can grow in the future as well. So I hope everyone has been able to understand this. Now let us come back to the charts and let us see how we can combine what we have read in terms of fundamental analysis and how we can take benefit of technical analysis and combine the two. All right. First and foremost, let me just quickly delete this line 170 and let me put a horizontal ray. So this was basically provided to you yesterday, right? Between 170 and 175. So today is 12. This was provided to you on 11th. So 170 and 175. It's very important to make sure that everyone is understanding. If you have any doubts, any questions, you can, I will be more than happy to help you out. All right. And in terms of our 5% profitability, let me mark those lines as well. And the color will always stay at green. So it's going to be, um, 1 second, it's going to be at one between 179 and 184. So 179 and 184. Currently, the price is slightly below, but again, it's just showing some kind of, sideways momentum, at least for today, with the prices which had shown bullish sentiment initially, but now there is some kind of, correction that is taking place in the markets. Prices, for them to correct or for them to even continue with the flow of trend, the prices have, sorry, the prices have to come back to this area, which is going to be around 185, and that is where our 5% profitability has already been, placed. So we do not have to worry more about this. Let us start from a top down approach. So let me go back to the daily. All right, now based on the daily, we have to just look in terms of what the price is currently showing. Yes, the prices are creating lower highs and lower lows. The prices have created a left shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder, right? So with the left shoulder, head, and right shoulder, remember this is a different depiction of an inverted head and shoulders, which is going to be looking. So one second, let me just draw it to you properly. This is a different depiction of how a head and shoulders look, but nonetheless, it is a head and shoulders pattern at the end, right? Something similar to this. So we would be wanting the prices to break the neckline, which would be somewhat like this, and based on that, we would be definitely having, strong assurance that prices would be continuing in the upward direction. As of now, the prices are still yet to take out the shoulder. So let me just draw the shoulder for your reference so that we will be clear in terms of when it happens. As of now, it is still away from it happening, but we need to see that. Nonetheless, even for prices to return back to the trend line and continue down, it would have already entered into our 5% profitability. So we would be quite, reasonably good in profit before even prices would have to return. We will keep an eye on this. So on daily, the prices are somewhat between the support area and the resistance area. The histogram is green in color, indicating that yes, the prices have bullish sentiment, but the moving averages are below the histogram, still in the negative or bearish territory. And that still indicates that the clear entry to go long is ideally not yet taken place, right? Based on the 4 hours, we're going to be looking at the same structure but on a magnified perspective, right? The daily is more like a helicopter view, right? You're looking at it from a distance. As in how we go look to the lower time frame, the pictures start to magnify, and we get to analyze and have a better understanding in terms of what the markets are showing. Currently, same as per the daily time frame, the prices are sitting between the support and resistance areas, correct? So with the histogram on this particular time frame for the MACD, we're talking about the 4 hour. Currently, it is, shifted from bullish territory to bearish territory, and the moving averages have also in the bearish territory. So still no clear confirmation in terms of prices to continue. Remember, but we want to enter at the best prices possible. If I had to give you an option whether you want to enter at 185 or you want to enter at 167, what would you prefer? I'm pretty sure it's very common, right? It is the same example that I keep giving. If we had to buy a particular product, for example a car at $100, or if we were able to buy the same car at $60, which one would you prefer? Of course you'll be preferring to buy the car at $60 because you're getting the same product at a cheaper rate. It is same as stock. It is the same case in in stock market. Critical Industries is a part of the company. They are willing to, give you a part of the company. That means a share of the company for the value at what it is listed. So rather than buying the share at 180, the prices are at around 167. So you are getting the same value, the same share, but at a discounted rate. So definitely, we want to enter when the prices are cheaper, and we want to, close or make profits as in how the prices are going higher. Correct. So based on the 4 hour, the prices are still more or less in the downtrend but sideways, and the histogram is still showing bearish sentiment, right? In terms of 1 hour, the 1 hour chart is again giving us a similar picture to the 4 hour, where the histogram is still red in color. The moving averages of the MACD are still in the bearish territory. The MACD on the price chart itself, right? Let me just make sure I can increase the font. So the blue color line that is plotted on the price chart is the moving average. It's the exponential moving average, and that is currently above the current price. So that still indicates the 1 hour has the moving average above price. The 4 hour also has moving average above price, and the daily has also the moving average above price. We would likely want the price to go above the moving average, preferably even the histogram to go above into the positive or bullish territory, and that is where we would be getting a clearer signal to enter. But we have entered at a very good price because we want to enter at a discount, right? As I was showing you, even on the numbers that we had discussed, right? Let me just quickly go and show you the numbers again. Based on the ROE, ROA, and the EPS, since its last year factors, there has been a quite good amount of appreciation when it comes to the factors of ROE, return on equity, return on assets, and earnings per share. So we still know that yes, currently, like I had mentioned it to you, even on the performance of price, right? The last year, the last 3 years have been fantastic for the company, right? But it's only in the last 3 months, especially with the news event that had shown you, that the numbers had fallen, right? Down by 21% for its net sales, and even in EBITDA values. So these values or these results could be a reason for the prices to be having a correction phase as of now. But nonetheless, the markets are giving us a better value to enter, and that is what we eventually would want, right? We do not want to enter when the prices are expensive. We want to look for opportunities when the prices are cheaper. So based on the yearly values of ROA, ROE, and EPS, we know, or we are having confirmation of the numbers of those levels uh, of ROA, ROE, and EPS, that overall there is positiveness in the company. The numbers do not lie, correct? Yes, but they are based on yearly numbers, so that is the only drawback, where it will be needing time in terms of unfolding what it has to do. But we are quite optimistic for this particular stock to go up in value, right? Even with the first and immediate resistance or opposition of price, that is going to be around 185. Our 5% target is much before that, so we can make our 5% profit before it can even reverse and continue with the downtrend. Because yes, overall the trend is still down, so we need to be clear, and we need to be careful once prices come back to this area. But what will the best part, if prices do come till there, we would be achieving our 5% profitability, right? In terms of the other hot stocks that we have been looking at, especially with Hind Oil, though we have made good profits in the in the last couple of trades, the previous trades which have been placed last month are still kind of going against us. But nonetheless, as in how the markets are improvising, we will update you in terms of any other necessary action that would be needed to be taken. All right. We looked at all the other possible trades on our watch list as well. So let me change the colors. Every trade has it at purple. We need to change and make sure the colors are, signifying the purpose of those particular structures, right? So we will be looking at this as well. Again, more or less, the prices have been on a sideways tangent, even with the sentiment of today, right? Yes, the markets has almost fallen by 250. So it started with a bullish note during the market opening hours, but as in how the markets have been progressing, there has been bearishness that has been creeping into the markets as well. Sensex has fallen by over 250 points. Nifty is again below 24,600, correct? So we will keep an eye on this as well, and we will update you. There is an important, possibility of a Federal Reserve rate cut next week, and we will be keeping an eye on these values as well, because this will be helping us in understanding what the market holds for us and what the values showcase us. Correct. Most importantly, it has been about the oil and gas industries. We do not have any trades which are currently in the auto sector, or actually we do have, which was IP rings, right? So it is basically the banking, the auto sector, and the oil and gas, which have been taking a big hit, and that is the reason even for certain trades that we have been running as of now, whether it is Hind oil, whether it is whether it is IP rings, there is still some kind of correction that is still taking place in the markets, but we will keep improvising and updating you. The markets will be closing maybe in the next around 7 or 20 minutes. We will be having the live streaming session till 3:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time before we will be concluding the session. So if you have any doubt, if you have any queries, you can always get back to me. Please understand, trading is not a daily game where you have to be staring at the charts and looking at what the markets have to do. We are providing you, and trading is never based on a single trade. Trading is based on a cumulative effect on a number of trades that have been taken. We have been doing exactly that all the way from 18th of September, when the trades that have been shared with you, those trades that have been hitting profitability, and they have been hitting quite considerably, right? Almost on a regular basis, we have been doing quite phenomenal, right? We have crossed the 200% threshold barrier for the profitability. I mean, that has been commendable. I mean, I'm not sure of any other broker out there who is providing you with so much of valuable content. Yes, there are brokers who are providing you with competitive rates. We do it as well. We at Dolphin Markets are also very competitive in our rates, but we are adding more value, right? Value in terms of analysis, in terms of money making opportunities, right? Hot stock recommendations, and in terms of education. So with these values that you can see on your screen, it is very important that you be your best judge and make sure to be a part of Dolphin Markets, because that is where you can earn and learn at the same time. Trades that are currently going are have been discussed to you. Trades that have done quite phenomenal have been shared to you. We just want to make sure that we can keep it as transparent and as consistent as possible. We are not here to boast about ourselves. Our numbers are doing the talking, right? From the time the trades have been placed, we have been sitting on 200 plus percent profitability, and most importantly on 36 trades. So that comes to around 12 trades per month. I mean, hypothetically, but I'm just trying to make you understand that even when a month comprises of around 20 or 21 working days, we have been almost on an average providing you with 12 trading hot stock recommendations, right? That itself is commendable. I mean, how often do you find someone who is able to provide you with so much of valuable opportunities that can make you good amount of money? So please make sure to be a part of our live streaming sessions. This is the last month where we will be keeping it open. The next month onwards we are going private. We would be focusing on our VIP customers, customers who are willing to invest, customers who are willing to take action, and customers who want to make good amount of profits, right? I'm pretty sure every one of you want to make good amount of money and want to make money consistently, and that is exactly what Harsh at Dolphin Markets is providing to you. Any other questions if you have, or you want to ask me a particular query, you can do so right now. This is the time where we have, since today the markets have been more or less on a sideways tangent. They did open with a bullish sentiment, but over time they have been having more or less of a bearish sentiment, right? Let me just quickly go back to the web pages and let me check for any advancement in news. So give me a minute. The markets are more or less right over there. So Sensex has taken even a slightly bigger fall at 300. It was at 295, has come down to 300. Nifty is again the same below the 24,600 mark. All sectors bearing IT trade in red. So we will keep an eye on this as well. So remember, I was talking to you about the federal rate cut, right? I'm talking about the US federal rate cut, which would be happening next week. Now, based on that, you can see uh, this thing, the Sensex Nifty 50 traded lower on Thursday as a surge in IT stocks driven by expectations of a rate cut was balanced by declines in most other sectors amid caution ahead of local inflation data. At one point, you have the expectations of a US rate cut, but at the same time, you have domestic um, inflation data that can be expected. So again, there is more of a mismatch, and what is being gained in the IT sector is being diminishing in all the other sectors. But that is how the markets are running. We will keep an eye on all the charts, on all the hot stock recommendations that we have been providing to you. And as and how the markets are providing us with better opportunities, we will let you know. Last but not least, let us quickly have a look at what the Nifty has been showcasing as of now, even based on the Nifty, right? We look at Nifty particularly on the daily time frame just to get a clear understanding of what the markets are showing. Yes, the markets had come into a strong area of a support, or I would call it as a flip, because the previous structure was a resistance that had been converted to a support. So the prices have been holding. Yes, the last lower high and the last lower low. One second. Let me just make sure I'm informing this as well. So the last lower high and the last lower low has been taken out by the first higher high. So at least based on the sentiment in terms of swing analysis, right? The prices have shown that yes, the entire correction that had been taking place in the Nifty has eventually concluded. Right now, there should be more of a bullish sentiment. We had also looked at the FIIs, where in terms of, let me just quickly show it to you and then we will conclude today's session, right? Let me just go to equity and let me go to the FIIs, right? So in terms of the FIIs, today has been of a net closure in terms of its total, total influx of funds that have been coming in. Even though the FI had been negative, the DII has been positive. So the day which had concluded yesterday was on a positive note, and we do expect this to continue in the future as well. So I hope everyone has had a good amount of understanding. We had discussed quite a lot. We went through all the stocks which were placed. We did a detailed analysis on Kriti Industrial India Limited with the fundamentals and technicals. And with no hot stock currently on our radar, we are not providing you because there is none on our radar to share it with you. But nonetheless, we have done quite well, and I hope I will catch you in the next live streaming session. So until then, namaste and have a great day. Take care, and I'll see you later. Bye.